Thank you. That was beautiful. Now I'm going to read two messages from Tom's sisters. They live in North Carolina, and they couldn't be here today. They were here before when Tom passed away, and it wasn't possible for them to come back, but they sent a couple of messages and remembrances that Suzanne wanted to share with everyone. So this is from his sister Joan Weisskopf, and she says, "I never had a bad time with Tommy. Because he was so much older than I was, I don't remember us living in the same house. I do remember a lifetime of spur-of-the-moment outings, planned day trips, and of course several trips to see a race. All of these things I did with my brother. I was a little girl who had a big brother with cool cars, his own house, and he stopped by to take me with him. I felt so special. That special feeling never went away. Even as an adult, I felt I was with my big brother, who was really cool, and he was about to show me something I never saw before. It's what I miss most. I miss my brother. I'm sad his life raced past so quickly, but I'm sure he knew he was a winner with me." And then his other sister, Eileen Elhaj, started this way. "Hello, Eileen, it's Tom. It was always such a cheerful, welcome greeting from my brother in California. I miss this very much. Tom strived for peace and adventure in his life. I shared both with Tom. On one occasion, as a young teenager, he took me on a rafting trip down a river in New Jersey. It was so peaceful, where we had enjoyed the beauty that nature has, and great conversations and laughter. That day, I felt like I was his sister, who he liked as a person and loved as a sister. Life is made up of the little moments. I love Tom and all the moments we shared. He introduced me to the beauty of California, his California that he embraced. I can't mention Tom's name without mentioning cars. I grew up with Tom's cars, convertibles, Corvettes, Toyotas, many other cars. He took me on my first convertible ride in a 1964 Ford Fairlane. What a thrill. I still remember that free feeling. Now I hope Tom is truly free, free from worries that life sent his way. He also let me drive his Corvette. Now that was hot. Tom was not hesitant to tell people he cared about them and enjoyed them. He also had the spirit of the fighting Irish within him that he indulged in on occasion. Good brother, good man. He told me he was sorry he got sick. He was sorry for the people around him, not sorry for himself and the ordeal he was going through. Sorry that people were sad. That was Tommy, my brother. Our father referred to Tom as Mr. Cool one night, and he was Mr. Cool to me." Okay, the next person I'd like to introduce is Patrick Mooney, who's a really long-time friend of Tom's, I think from New Jersey. And then I met Patrick in the hospital visiting Tom one day, and he was talking about how he and Tom reconnected kind of by accident in California. So happy to welcome Patrick.
Well, first thing, I'm not much of a public speaker, but I had to say something about Tommy, and I want to thank you all for coming, and I want to thank Suzanne for the opportunity to talk about Tommy. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Pat Mooney, and I grew up in a small town in northern New Jersey, not far from where Tommy grew up. I knew Tommy in New Jersey and met him initially through mutual friends. When I first thought about giving a talk about Tommy, I figured I'd tell a funny story about one of our experiences together. The more I thought about it, the more I kept coming back to how Tommy was a person who thought about other people more than himself. Sure, there were plenty of times and stories, some that I can't even talk about, but Tommy was more than just a fun guy to be around. He was a good person. Anyway, here's my story. I moved to San Francisco in 1980 and lived in a warehouse space on Florida Street, right around the corner here, the blue building. I was unemployed and I was looking for work. One day while I was playing my guitar, a knock came on the door. I opened the door and I was surprised to see Tom. I hadn't seen Tommy for a while and had no idea that he was living in San Francisco, much less right down the hallway from where I was staying. Tommy asked me what I was doing here, and I told him that I was moved out with a friend to look for work. He basically hired me on the spot to help him run his shop, sell at the salon. I had no experience in the automotive repair, but Tommy hired me anyway. Tommy basically created a job for me. I would do odd jobs like picking up customers from BART, ordering and picking up parts. I'd go to the bank to make deposits and help in the shop any way I could. Later, as the shop got busier, I started running the parts department and helped with writing up repair work. This experience finally landed me a job working on the parts counter at Express Auto Parts. Express was a business that sold and delivered automotive parts to local repair shops in San Francisco. Express Auto Parts was owned by three brothers that I also knew from New Jersey. Glenn, Paul, and John Hirschberger. Glenn is sitting right over there. Glenn was a good friend of Tommy's, and Express did business with sell at the salon. I worked for Express Auto Parts for 9 years and then took a job as an outside sales rep for another parts distributor, McKenzie Warehouse. I have been employed at McKenzie Warehouse for the last 21 years. The point that I'm trying to make on this story is Tommy started me in this business by creating a job for me, and that eventually led to my career. I've lived in one of the best cities in the world for over 30 years, and I have Tommy to thank for it. Tommy always thought about others more than himself. In his business, he was always looking out for his customers and his employees. Tommy was a good boss, a supportive customer, and a great friend. I will be forever in debt to Tommy for providing me with the experience that ended up being the backbone of my career. Tommy, I'll miss you forever. Thanks.